Well, how you doing, YouTube? Beer review time, and we're reviewing a beer from probably one of my favorite styles of beer, Mexican lager, and we're going to be reviewing Bohemia Pilsner ever since 1905. This beer comes in at 4.7% alcohol by volume and 21 IBUs, which I was kind of surprised seeing that 21 IBUs here. As far as international bitterness units, as far as Mexican beer, I kind of figured it's a tad more than American beer, but I wouldn't go as far as say it'd be in the 20s. I'd figure high teens. But yeah, and we even got some little health facts or descriptions here, which is nice. Let's see, it's 150 calories, 13 grams of carbohydrates, and 1 gram of protein. That is something I wish a lot more beers would have, is little calorie counts and things like that, just because when I review it, things like that, I'm not one to look at calories, but just for review purposes, it's nice to have. Here we go. Now, like I said, I'm a big fan of Mexican lagers, and Bohemia, from what I've heard, is one of the better ones, although I have yet to find. Actually, I found one Mexican beer that isn't even technically Mexican. It's made in Lakeland, Florida, but it's called Chihuahua, but it's supposed to be styled after Mexican beer, and that was just god-awful terrible. Anyway, this Bohemia is produced by Cerveceria Cuauhtémoc Montezuma in Monterrey, Mexico, and basically the company that makes this is Heineken of Mexico. Anyway, color-wise, it's a beautiful gold color. Got a okay head there. As far as smell goes, look, you get your bread character, and you get like a little bit of a citrusy and a floral hop note. Overall, smells really promising. I've had this before, but I'm just trying to keep the suspense up. But it smells really nice, and it looks really nice, but let's see if it tastes really nice. Oh, and it does. A lot of Mexican adjunct lagers are comparable to American adjunct lagers. They, have that adjunct sweet graininess, and this definitely has it. It's got a sweet graininess, but the hops, that 21 IBUs, is really showing its legs. Similar to the smell, the flavor you got, and the sun just keeps moving. I'm trying to move around to keep from having the sun reflect off my face, but hey, that's what you get for recording outside. But as far as the flavor goes, the hop character, like I said, 21 IBUs, it's definitely present. You get a nice floral hop, like you get a little bit of a grassiness, a slight citrusy kind of thing going on there. And it really complements the maltiness. It's very light, white bread. But overall, it's just really well balanced. It's, as far as what I can get around here, Bohemia is not the easiest to find beer. Like, you won't find this, excuse me, in most gas stations, but a decent amount of liquor stores carry it. And for a 6-pack, $9.99, that's pretty reasonable. Although I wish I could find, they have Bohemia, I think it's pronounced Obscura, which is a Bock they produce, and I would kill to try that. But still, this Pilsner is a fine example, and it kind of shows one thing I like about Mexican beers. Is a lot of Mexican beers seem to have more of a German influence than American beers tend to show. And yeah, I know, most American breweries were started around the 1850s, by German immigrants. You got Frederick Miller, you got Adolf Coors, you have, the two people who did Anheuser-Busch. But something about Mexican beers just really show off their German pedigree more, and that's one thing a lot of people don't know, is there is a large large German influence in Mexico, whether it be through their music, like the the norteña or ranchero styles. You have like the accordions and stuff like that. A large amount of German immigrants also immigrated to Mexico and southern Texas, and they brought their brewing traditions with them. And this beer is a fine example of a good German brewing tradition. And I think my cat's on the other side of this fence. I hear him meowing. But one thing, if you go to the Bohemia website, they really talk about the kind of hops they use. They use hops from the Czech Republic. And yeah, my cat's right there. What's up, buddy? Yeah. Anyway, he's like, damn, dude, let me in. I'll let you in the house in a second. But yeah, just a fine beer. Pairs incredibly well with Mexican food. It's very light and refreshing, though flavorful at the same time. It's got more flavor than like your Corona, your Modelo, your Dos Equis. And I believe also the company that produces the Bohemia also makes Tecate, Dos Equis, I believe Sol as well. But yes, it's lighter, it's light, it's refreshing, but it still has plenty of character and complexities within it. And I'm just going to go ahead and give it a score. For the style, a 9 out of 10. Like whenever I go eat Mexican food, if they have Bohemia, I get Bohemia, even if it's just in the bottle. I don't believe I've ever seen it on draft, but I'll get a couple bottles of Bohemia if I'm going out and eating Mexican. And if they don't have Bohemia, I'll normally go the Dos Equis route. But if you haven't tried it and you enjoy Mexican beer, Bohemia is definitely one you should check out. It's a fine example of a good Mexican lager, and it's a fine example of what I enjoy about Mexican lagers. You know, it's bright, it's kind of light, it's refreshing. You have a little bit, you got your malt and bready character, you get your grains in there, you get that sweetness, but you get also a good balance of floral hops, get that grassiness, you get that, you know, like even I said, a little bit of a citrusy kind of twang on it. But overall, just an incredibly well-balanced beer, and if you haven't tried it, you definitely should. I don't think you'll be disappointed. But yeah, as far as the rating goes, 9 out of 10. So far, this is my favorite Mexican lager. Although there's some I do want to try that I haven't yet, like Noche Buenos, I believe. My Spanish isn't good at all, but I believe it's like a winter bock that comes out towards Christmas time. Bohemia Obscura is one I just mentioned that I would love to try. But as far as the Mexican beers I've had already, Bohemia Pilsner is the cream of the crop. 9 out of 10 all day. Anyway, make sure to spay and neuter your animals. Especially make sure to cure a local pedophile. And have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow.